Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Irene and I create videos about K-pop auditions every single Sunday. In today's video, we're kind of mixing it up. I've got this whole microphone thing. I wanted to sit down on the floor, really ground myself, and do this podcast style because this is kind of like something that I'm really interested in and also been wanting to talk about for quite some time now. And I'm sure you've read the title. It's about what I think is the best K-pop company. I've made videos like this before, and in the past, well, I chose this company that Loki flopped, and they're definitely, most definitely not my favorite company now. But I wanted to make an updated version because I definitely owe that to you guys, and I love having this conversation. I know people are going to disagree with me. Obviously, like this isn't like a one answer kind of conversation. So if you guys have differing opinions, let me know. I'd love to have a conversation out of it. And I also understand the flaws of the K pop industry, of course. How could you not? I know that there really is no perfect company, so please do mind the fact that I said best company in my opinion, not the perfect company, right? And of course, I trust you guys, but just make sure that you're having a respectful conversation with anyone in the comments. But let's get started with the video. So, this company that I wanted to highlight for today is Modehouse Entertainment. And they are a company of my favorite group, right? So, obviously, there is some bias there. But I think it's because, I was invested in Triple S, especially a lot this summer. And because of that, I got to know more about the company. And this company is extremely unique. In my opinion, is based on two pillars. So, innovation and then also artist treatment. I think those two things might not go hand in hand perfectly, but those two are really the foundations and the building blocks of a company, in my opinion. Now, we're going to get into that a little bit later, but let's first talk about Modehouse as a company and how they started, how I got to know them, because that's all relevant to why they're so cool and how that goes back to the innovation and artist treatment pieces. So, firstly, Modehouse was founded, I want to say like near 2020 ish. Currently, they have three groups under their label. So, I guess the biggest one, let's just start off with Triple S. Biggest one in terms of size, and I'll also say popularity currently as well. So, Triple S is a 24 membered girl group. And if you haven't heard of them, like just even a little bit, maybe you're living under a rock. No, just kidding. They're a pretty big deal, and their song quality is extremely good. They also have a five-membered girl group called Artemis, and they are five members that are from the group Luna. So the CEO of Modehouse, Jaden Jung is his name, was behind the creative team and the whole Lunaverse, which is kind of like the lore behind Luna. But he left Blockberry Creative because he wasn't being paid, guys. Blockberry, Loki didn't pay anyone, members, makeup, hair, music, like none of it. So this guy left and then decided to find his own company, which honestly I think is so powerful. He has a lot of flaws, but we're not going to go into that today. But going back to the Modehouse groups, he initially got that trust from the members. And obviously, I think if he treated them so horribly and they were abused, they would not join his company. Like, let's be so real. Anyway, they're also planning on making a 24 member boy group. And so currently they have seven members that have debuted, and they're called Identity. So, three groups on their label, relatively new, but growing so fast. Now, what really makes them different is something that I want to talk about. So, what actually caught my attention firstly was the NFTs that they use. And I know NFTs have a very negative connotation to them. Modehouse has this app called Cosmo where you can collect digital photo cards. So that kind of goes on the concept of NFTs. It's not perfectly identical. And I won't go into the details of the app because that could be a whole video in itself and how genius it is. But just know that Modehouse created this whole app and this whole system just based on objects. Like that's what they're called, the digital photo cards objects. And it's honestly pretty genius because that's how the members are being paid. Now, in a traditional K-pop sense, people would be paid through concerts, merch, things like that, and then the revenue stream that they would get out of that would be very little because they're only getting a certain percentage because they have to pay the company, they have to pay the hair and makeup team, they have to pay the people that are making the merch, planning the concerts, etc., etc. But when these members are basically participating in these NFT activities, like they're getting most of the income. So it's pretty much like a win-win situation. Obviously, there are flaws of the situation, but all you have to know is that the artists are being paid and they're not fully scamming them like other companies. I personally am a big advocate for people being paid for their label. Yes. And another thing that I forgot to mention is that the whole system of Triple S and also the other groups as well. I'm going to just mainly talk about Triple S, but it's based on fan participation. So fans can collect Como, which is kind of like the coin system on the app that is collected through buying these objects. I know that's like a lot of words right now, but with these Comos, you can choose like different concepts of the group, different songs. So, like, out of 4 songs, you can pick one song basically. You can pick the member lineups of a certain subunit. There's so many things that you can participate in as a fan, and also people like also want to participate in that more. So they collect more objects and more revenue streams for the artists and the whole company. And I'm not the only person that finds this concept so interesting, you guys. Obviously, this sounds so cool in itself, but basically, they received the largest investment secured by a single company in the Korean entertainment industry just this year. So that was 15 million won, and that was funding from a major domestic venture capital firm. Now, this is a huge deal. Like, imagine being pitted against SM, JYP, YG, these companies that have been in the industry for years and years, decades and decades, and you're beating them in terms of funding. Like, that's so badass. And this is what the CEO of the investment firm said. He said, "We highly valued Motehouse's differentiated production capabilities and the ecosystem expandability centered around the fan participatory K-pop platform Cosmo. We will actively support this investment to ensure it serves as a catalyst for new innovation in the Korean entertainment industry." And I firmly believe this as well. I think this is actually going to create a start where having an app for each company becomes the norm. It's kind of already the norm, but I'm not gonna lie, like apps like SM Town, those are like so shit. Like they definitely do not put good enough investment funds into that app. With Cosmo, you can really see they have like a separate, like a comp sci team basically behind their app and creating it and perfecting it. I'm gonna sit like this if that's okay. But they really know how to capture the fans' attention and also people outside of the fandom as well. So Boathouse really, really is a creative company. They know how to get that wow factor for every single group they have. Like for Artemis, for example, their cinematory, is that a word? Cinema style music videos, insane. Also, just their great songs as well. Triple S with their whole 24 member concept, of course. But with every single comeback, they have a new lineup. They have new songs that the fans chose, of course. And I just think it's just very well planned. It's really hard to execute not only just like one 24 membered group, but then also planning out all the subunits within each of them. In the upcoming next year, or maybe even late this year, we'll see. They're planning a comeback basically where the 24 members are divided into 4 subunits, so 6 members each. And that was like a whole grand gravity. If you know, you know. If you don't, that's okay. But all you have to know is that they really do take the fans' opinions into consideration, and also the quality of that result is very high. Another unique thing about Triple S and also other Modehouse artists is that their main communication platform is actually not like Naver or like other paid platforms like From, or I don't know, where other people like communicate with their fans, but it's actually Discord. I know, like Discord, what the heck? Like you're not a gamer. That actually allows fans to actually provide opinions. Then also for like, for example, Jaden Jung to express his opinions as well. So when there were complaints about, I guess, like members on hiatus, which we'll get into later as well, members on hiatus, and also like fan sign situations that were going a little bit haywire simply because members were missing, and the company promised certain members to be there, of course, things like that. Jaden Jung like literally posted an announcement on Discord clarifying everything. And sometimes fans do say this guy literally folds to his fans way too quickly, but I admire that so much because what other CEO is doing that out there? Little to none, I feel like. So the transparency behind the company and then just like the communication between fans, I feel like is pretty strong. Like compared to other groups and other companies, I don't think you'll find that elsewhere. And also they prioritize their artists' health as well, and also schooling. Jaden Loki really, really likes schooled people. So he'll actually hire people, not hire, he'll recruit members that have somewhat of an education, and also they don't force any of their members to drop out of school, especially when they're trainees. I feel like that's just like absurd, in my opinion. You're a trainee, you don't even know if you're going to debut, but the company forces you to drop out of school. In my opinion, yeah, that's just like nuts. But All of the members are that are currently in school are staying in school, and also some of the members are actually pursuing post grad as well, so beyond high school and moving on to getting a degree. I could really go on and on about this, but I want to conclude it with the last statement, which is that the artists are being paid. And it's crazy that this is a bare minimum in the industry, but it really is. The members were actually paid like within a year of debuting, and this is all possible through this NFT platform. And I know it sounds like I'm like promoting this, or I'm being paid to say this. I'm really not. But if I were ever given the opportunity to collaborate with any Motown artist, I would take it and run, you guys, because I am just quite a fan of this whole company. And I know it's weird to say, are you a company fan? Like, what? But like, trust. I feel like it's pretty cool. They're being paid as much as a Teddy level in a company, which is like pretty high, like director level. So they're being paid. They're not just being paid coins or $23 every single music bank stage, if you know what I mean. They're actually being paid. And that just kind of concludes this, I suppose. Modas does have auditions going on if you are interested in auditioning for them. And I know this was a bit different from what I usually do, talking about auditions. But I think this was kind of fun. I kind of want to do more podcast style videos. So if you have any other topics that you want me to talk about, let me know. Bye.